magandang umaga. So, nandito tayo ngayon sa pilot episode ng ating DV Consults. Kasama ko ngayon si Ma'am Juvie, a real estate broker, a real estate appraiser. 14 years na sa industry ng real estate. Owner of different franchise brands, no? Unang-una yung Publing's Barbershop and yung newest venture niya, no, which is DV Consulting Las Piñas, no? Business registration and accounting firm. So, Ma'am Juvie, welcome po sa DV Consults. So, very very spontaneous lang yung magaganap na kwentuhan. I just have a few questions and we will just run through yung 4 questions na usual namin tinatanong sa mga partners. So, first question, as a real estate expert, why did you choose to franchise an accounting firm?
Firstly, nakita ko kasi yung pangangailangan sa real estate ng accounting. Knowing that we know that the accounting is a language of business. And ang gusto kong mangyari, I've been in the business for 14 years, but yung matulungan mo yung kapwa mo real estate broker to identify o matulungan din nila yung mga kliyente nila in terms of monitoring yung income and expenses din ng kliyente nila, katulad ng pagmumonitor din ng tax, na instead of doing accounting ng kanilang business, minsan nagkakamali pa because of sa deadline. Then we know naman kung gaano kahigpit ang BIR natin dito sa Pilipinas. Yun yung isa sa mga bagay na naging consideration ko in franchising the DV Consulting. Kasi nga, syempre, they are expert in terms of accounting and tax compliance.
So, kadalasan, kapag real estate professionals, ang focus kasi more on sales talaga eh.
Yes.
No? So, yung time, nako-consume talaga dun sa pag-generate ng leads,
yes,
pag-close pag-hit ng quota, mag-close ng deals.
Yes.
So, yung other back office processes, especially yung compliance with different government agencies, accounting, bookkeeping, usually neglected sa real estate profession.
Saka, overlook talaga yun. Yung ganung klase ng kasi mas more on focus sila kung kailan ko ba mai-hit yung quota ko?
Yes.
Paano ko ba pararamihin yung salesperson ko? But on the financial side, nawawala. Yun yung medyo kulang.
Yes.
Sa ganung klase namin dito sa profession namin sa real estate.
Saka minsan dadating yung time kailangan nang mag-renew ng invoice ng real estate professionals. Pag kailangan niya nang kumuha ng authority to print, lalabas marami pala siyang BIR open cases. So hindi niya ma-renew, hindi siya makakuha ng authority to print. Ang problem, kailangan niya ng invoice para makuha niya yung commission.
Correct.
So ngayon, si real estate broker problema ngayon, So ang nagiging dilemma or ang nagiging action is lalapit sa mga, sad to say, may mga fixers pa rin kasi na hindi talaga tax professionals, kung hindi fixers hindi talaga knowledgeable sa tax laws, accounting laws, more on gusto lang matapos or ma-comply yung naka-open case sa BIR. So, sa DV Consulting, as the President and CEO, Ma'am Juvie, I'm very honored to welcome you as part of our team. And happy ako na merong real estate broker, real estate appraiser kaming partner na may commitment din, meron ding same advocacy na makapagbigay ng professional services sa mga entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So, given that, I would like to ask yung next question, is having an accounting knowledge important in the real estate world?
Yes, of course. Kasi ang real estate naman is not more on only sa buying and selling. Of course, being a real estate professional, nagiging consultant ka din ng isang investor. So, mas napapaniwanag mo yung isang transaction sa investor kung talaga bang yung bang property na bibilhin niya is
Yes.
profitable ba siya. In terms of sa investor naman, matutulungan ng accounting na turuan ang isang investor to how to interpret the financial statement. Kung ba talaga bang yung binibili niya is kailangan natin sa ganung business. For example, sa rental business, ano ba ang kailangan natin sa rental? Of course, yung mga expenses natin like yung magbabantay nung rental property mo, tapos yung maintenance cost, and also kung ang property mo is naka-loan, yung bang rental mo is sufficient dun sa pambayad ng loan mo. With the knowledge of accounting, makakaroon ka ng clear picture na ano pa ba? O para bang siya, worth pa ba siya? Na
Good
i-maintain,
investment ba to?
i-maintain o ibenta ko na lang kaysa mag-rent, pa ako, rental business. Kaya napaka-importante ng accounting.
So meaning ma'am, no, nagiging well-informed yung decision maker,
Yes.
no? Kung i-hold niya pa ba yung property
Mm-mm.
or i-dispose niya na, no? So kumbaga in decision making, we can agree, no, na very important ang accounting knowledge.
Mm-mm.
And I think ma'am, no, we can both agree na marami pa rin na real estate property owners na hindi naniniwala sa real estate broker, no? Parang ang reasoning is kaya naman magbenta ng property on their own. At yun nga, no, minsan multiple property then ibebenta nila on their own, not knowing na possible na pala silang maging dealer, no?
Yes.
Kasi kapag binenta mo yung property mo, yung residential mo, one time lang, no? Okay, no? Tama po ba, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, may I know mo ilan as a real estate professional, no? Ilang transaction bago ka maging consider na dealer?
In one year na nagbibenta ka ng property mo, yung 6 times na pagbibenta mo, you will be considered as a dealer already. Kasi makikita na ng BIR na bakit lagi na lang capital gain ang binabayad nito? Well, in fact, dapat siya is ordinary asset na yon. Kasi 6 times na eh. Kasi yun yung nakamandate sa atin sa BIR rulings.
Ma'am, just for the benefit of everyone, no? Can we elaborate yung difference nung capital asset and ordinary asset in kumbaga layman term?
Sir. Ang capital asset, ito yung pag-aari mo na binili na property na hindi mo siya ginamit sa business mo kung hindi for your own use at ibibenta mo na siya. Ang ordinary asset naman, this is considered as kung ikaw ay isang dealer or nag-flip ng property or isa kang developer na may mga inventaryo ng mga real estate like condos, house and lot. The moment na pumasok ka sa ganung category, ang magiging tax mo in terms of pag-ordinary asset, withholding tax at VAT na rin ang magiging taxes mo. Pag capital ka naman, is more on the capital asset lang, which is 6% yon. Ganun siya.
Ayan, no? Kitang-kita mo naman, no? Simula pa lang ng mga tanong natin, marami na agad tayong nakuhang new information, no?
Yes.
Especially sa mga real estate owner dyan. With that, ma'am, I would proceed to the next question. How does accurate accounting impact real estate investment decisions?
Well, yung pagiging accurate sa accounting, kasi instead na magbabayad ka ng tax ng akala mo nagbabayad, tulad ng example ko nga kanina, akala mo ang binabayad mo na tax is capital gain. Yung pala, nandun ka na sa category ng ordinary asset. Ang mangyayari doon, syempre magkakaroon ka ng assessment from BIR. Instead na makakatipid ka, mas lalo ka pang magbabayad. Dahil mali yung in-apply mong taxes doon sa computation na binigay mo sa BIR na niremit mo sa kanila. And also, pagdating naman sa yung securing a loan, syempre ang mga bangko kasi ang lagi niyang hinihingi, kunyari ikaw, Dan, gusto mo mag-loan sa bangko, ang hihingi ng bangko sa'yo, you must have a financial statement to support kung ano yung paano mo mababayaran yung inuutang mo sa kanila. Napaka-importante yun sa sa mga bangko. Kaya humihingi sila ng audited financial statement, COE, tsaka mga valid IDs. For them to be able to say na talaga bang capable itong borrower na to na magbayad ng loan na hinihiram nila sa amin. Mga ganun.
Kitang-kita natin, no, na ang accounting information hindi lang basta sa payment ng taxes,
Yes.
very crucial sa isang entrepreneur. So even in terms of funding, no, in terms of
Yes.
capitalization, very important ang accounting information, specifically yung professional accounting, no. Kasi maraming direction na pwedeng puntahan ng isang company. At isa sa direction na pwedeng puntahan, yung mag-invite ng other investors, other partners,
Yeah.
or mag-come up with a loan, no? So lahat 'yan, ang unang hahanapin sa isang entrepreneur is yung kanyang financial statements.
Totoo yan. And also, I may add, Dan, pagdating din sa valuation, di ba, pagdating sa accounting kasi, it's more on the book value pagdating sa property. Pero sa amin, sa real estate, para maka-invite ka pa ng more investor, what the accountant says to the, kunyari, property owner, it's better na yung kanyang property is ipa-appraise sa isang
Yes.
licensed real estate appraiser to know kung magkano yung magiging market value talaga.
Market value.
Kasi kung pagbabasihan natin yung book value, mababa yun.
Yes.
Hindi katulad pag na-examine na siya ng isang appraiser, makikita ng appraiser na, ma'am, dati nabili niyo ho yung property ng worth 10 million.
Yes.
But now, yung pala 50 million na ngayon. So, malaking bagay yung ganong klase ng pagkakaroon ng ganong partnership with accounting and also sa other real estate. That's why gustong-gusto ko talaga yung DB Consulting kasi na bukod sa nakakatulong siya sa akin sa business ko as real estate, kumbaga mas lalo pang napapalawak at marami pang natutulungan, hindi lang entrepreneur, hindi lang buyer, seller, and also katulad naming mga real estate broker. Yun kasi minsan ang wala yung educating the public, the government, and also yung mga real estate practitioners din.
Yes.
Yun.
Kasi ang laki rin ng pinagkaiba kasi talaga nung both profession, no? Yung sinasabi ni ma'am na related sa market value ng property. Kasi for us accountants, we value lahat, no, ng real estate property sa financial statements at cost.
Yes.
So meaning kung magkano namin nabili or magkano nabili ng client or ng taxpayer or ng entrepreneur, no? Yun ang basis, cost. Pero for real estate appraisers, definitely, no, market value, no?
Yes.
Market value. So and ang cost and market value, madalas hindi yan isang value, isang amount, no?
Yes.
Madalas magkaiba yan talaga.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that, ma'am. And finally, I will proceed to the next and final question. How does accounting help with compliance and taxes in real estate transactions?
When it comes to tax obligation, kami bilang real estate broker, meron din kaming tinatawag na, pwede rin kami kasi maging VAT value added tax compliant, and also pwede rin kaming yung tinatawag na non-VAT, diba? Ang kagandahan lang din kasi pagdating
Just for the benefit of everyone, ma'am, no, para baka hindi nila alam yung VAT versus non-VAT. We would like to to differentiate lang, no, on a perspective of an accountant. So in siguro in layman's term or yung mas easiest way to explain it, may certain threshold, no, na 3 milyon. So pag umabot yung gross revenue or gross sales natin ng 3 million, vatable na tayo, no? As opposed to less than 3 million, non-VAT. No?
And also, add ko lang din, Dan, in terms of yung sa depreciation at saka sa mortgage, ano rin, importante din talaga ang accounting kasi mas katulad nga ng sinabi mo, ang accounting kasi is more on the book. Kumbaga, meron siyang historical cost na tinatawag. Pagdating sa taxes, may basis kayo. Minsan kasi sa amin sa real estate, di ko ano na lang yan, di ba? Hindi siya ganun ka accurate in terms of documentation. Kaya maganda talaga na you have to, as a real estate broker, you have to know about the accounting. Tulad ng sinabi ko nga kanina, accounting is a language of business, which is it helps you make a proper decision or correct decision on how to do things correctly.
Yes.
Ganun siya.
I believe, no, marami dyan sa atin nagbabayad ng taxes na hindi nila alam, napapamahal pala sila, no? Kasi may certain items na tinatawag nating na tax avoidance as compared to tax evasion kasi illegal, no? But there are certain legal ways to minimize taxes, no? We call that tax avoidance, no? So tayo yung mga tax professionals, tayo sa DV Consulting, we help our clients minimize risk and at the same time minimize taxes, no? Kasi as much as possible naman, no, we would like to provide expert opinion paano makakatipid sa tax yung kliyente. Kasi may certain items na hindi naman na-educate, no, sa lahat ng taxpayer na pwede niya palang i-claim yung ganitong item as deduction, pwede niya palang i-claim yung ganitong item as exemption, no? So tayo as tax professionals sa DV Consulting, we tend to educate our clients, no, related to those transactions, no, na may malaking impact sa pag-minimize, no, ng taxes.
And I would like to also to add din yung in-explain mo sa amin. I really appreciate yung in-explain mo sa amin in terms of yung kung ano ba ang tama, ano pwedeng gawin. Kung ang business ko ba is kailangan kong register as DTI or SEC ba. Which is yun yung totally naging eye-opener for me.
Yes.
Na i-offer din yon with other real estate professional. Can you elaborate on that?
Usually, no, pag may mga client talagang nagtatanong, tinatanong tayo, Sir Dan, ano bang maganda? DTI ba? Or SEC, one-person corporation? Pag tinatanong yan sa atin, hindi natin sinasagot ng directly na maganda DTI, maganda SEC. We need to evaluate yung circumstances and situation ng kliyente, no, kasi case to case basis, but there are some points na we can use, no, to evaluate which is the better option. So first option is, of course, in terms of complexity, for DTI sole proprietorship, no, registration, in few minutes makakapag-produce ka na ng ng DTI certificate, no. So kung simplicity, very simple, no, yung sa DTI as compared to the one person corporation. Yung recent development na ginawang online yung registration, naging simple din siya, but there are certain requirements and certain timeline pa rin, no? Number 2, in terms of taxation, no? Sa DTI, dahil yung business na tinatayo is same, no, with the owner, dahil walang separate legal entity na created, no, the business and the proprietor is one and the same. So, ang tax identification niyan, iisa. So, lahat ng gross sales, no, or revenue from the business, i-add yan with other income ng taxpayer, like compensation. And at the end of the period or end of the year, kino-consolidate, meron tinatawag na graduated tax rates. So, ang maximum nun, 35%. No, kapag na-reach nyo yung maximum threshold or maximum bracket, 35%. As compared to taxation sa corporation, no, which is in general 25%. But for those companies na hindi nag-exceed ng 100 million sa asset, no, ang kanilang tax rate is 20% only, no. So in general, no, yan yung differences sa taxes. And when when it comes to the extent of liability na tinatawag, no, wag naman sana, no, pero if there are certain cases na umabot sa legal disputes, for the DTI, sole proprietorship, damay yung personal asset ng proprietor. As compared to SEC, OPC, dahil sa OPC may tinatawag na separate juridical entity created, na separate and distinct from the owner. No, kumbaga sa mata ng batas may panibagong tao na nabuo, no. So, iba ang tax identification number niyan, iba ang SSS, iba ang PhilHealth Pag-ibig. In terms of legal disputes related to let's say liability, no. Hanggang company asset lang, no. So, hindi aabutin yung personal asset ng owner, no. So, yan very crucial point yan, no, na pwedeng gamitin ng isang taxpayer to decide or entrepreneur to decide which business form yung pipiliin niya, no. Kasi yung item na yan, no, can either make or break, no, yung ating entrepreneur, no. So, yan po in general yung mga reasons or yung mga points, no, na pwedeng gamitin ng entrepreneur kung magde-decide siya between SEC, one-person corporation, or DTI na sole proprietorship.
Kasi karamihan sa amin, mga practicing real estate broker, akala nila hindi, mag-DTI ka na lang. Mas madali. Mas tipid. Yung pala, ngayon ko lang na-realize na depende pala yun kung ano yung direction mo sa paggaling sa mga business na gano'n.
And I forgot to discuss. I would like to add, no, yung business continuity rin, no. Kasi pag sa sole proprietorship, no, sa DTI, pag diretsoy natin pag namatay yung may-ari, no, the business dies with the owner. But for one-person corporation, no, kapag nag-SEC ka na OPC, may tinatawag kasi diyan mga nominee, no, director, no. May mga magte-take over ng company after ng death ng owner, no. So may business continuity. Pwedeng ituloy yung company name, no. Tuloy-tuloy lang yung yung operation. Pero sa DTI hindi, no, kasi iisa lang yung owner sa kayong business. So kung nagkaroon ng death, namatay rin yung business. So para dun sa mga sa mga entrepreneurs na may next generation na tinitignan, you need to review, no, yung business form na gagamitin nyo. Kung SEC, OPC man yan, or DTI na sole proprietorship.
Kumbaga, may legacy kang iiwanan.
Yes. So, ibig sabihin ba, Sir Dan, mas inclined tayo sa SEC, OPC? Ang sagot ko, hindi pa rin, no? Kasi, depende talaga sa reason mo, no? Kasi, maraming reason ba't tayo nagpo-put up ng company, no? So, nakadepende rin yung business form, no, dun sa reasons na yon.
Yes, totoo yan.
So, Ma'am Juby, yan lang yung ating mga professional questions, no, na related dun sa real estate profession. Right now, gusto ko sanang magtanong, no, ng siguro more on a personal question, no. As a real estate professional, ma'am, and a mother, wife, paano mo po nakikita yung sarili mo na makakontribute pa, no, sa real estate profession, and right now sa accounting, no, profession, within the next 3 to 5 years po? Ano yung plan mo? Ano yung how do you see yourself? Ano yung mga certain goals, no, sa 3 to
Yes.
5 years?
Kasi ako, bilang isang real estate professional, hindi lang ako nakafocus on my self-development. Ang pinaka-purpose talaga why I choose this kind of profession is for me to be able to, gaya ng sinabi ko sa'yo kanina, it's more on the legacy. You hand down lahat ng natutunan mo. Kasi kung hindi mo gagawin yon, mamamatay ang industriya. Katulad na lang ng real estate. We've been in this business for 15 years and it was 2009 nung pinasa yung batas na kailangan ang mga nagbebenta ng property dito sa Philippines is lahat lisensyado at accredited sa PRC. Kasi para maiwasan natin yung mga double sale, lalo't higit yung mga OFW, kadalasan yan ng malungkot na biktima na nandun sila sa abroad, na hiwalay sa pamilya, nagkaroon ng trabaho sa abroad, tapos mag-i-invest dito, pagdating dito wala pala. Which is isa yun sa mga advokasya ko na i-educate ang public, ang mga younger generation, and also to become a role model din sa mga anak ko. Kasi pag makikita ng anak mo, oh, ganito pala yung ginagawa ng mami ko. At ganito pala yung advokasya niya, na which is tutularan din. In terms naman sa accounting, maganda siyang partner sa business na real estate at saka sa accounting. Kasi it goes hand in hand talaga siya. More on the holistic side talaga yung napiprevent mo na mali yung mai-report, na commission man yan o taxes man yan. Pero pagdating sa accounting, siya yung nagko-control, nagbo-bookkeep, tinitingnan kung compliant ka ba sa taxes mo. Ganon ko nakikita yung sarili ko in terms of ganitong real estate business, at the same time consultancy ng tax at ng bookkeeping dito sa atin sa Philippines. Kaya nagpapasalamat ako sa DB Consulting, nakilala ko sila, and talagang naging kaagapay ko sila sa business na to.
Thank you very much for that, ma'am. Ako, I acknowledge, no, na successful yung DV Consulting Las Piñas branch kasi for just few months, no, in operation, we were able to land clients. And for those who are planning to franchise as well na DV Consulting, ano po yung ma-advise nyo sa kanila, ma'am?
Well, bilang franchisee, nakakatuwa, Dan. Wala kong ka-idea kung basta naisip ko lang gusto kong makipag-partner sa isang accountant kasi alam ko yung kahalagahan ng pagkakaroon ng maayos na recording. It so happen, nagbabrowse ako sa Facebook page, tas bigla na lang nag-pop in yung DB, I don't know, it's God's intervention siguro. Nakita ko, and then I message yung and then doon ko na nakilala, nagkaroon ako ng call with Dan. At yun, diniscuss nila about doon sa franchising, which is yun yung direction na gusto ko in addition with the real estate. Kasi advocate nga ako ng real estate industry as well as yung proper recording at tamang pagbayad ng taxes. Which is, minsan, yun yung nagiging malaking problema natin dito sa Philippines. Kasi, aminin na natin, dito sa atin is uso yung red tape. Which is, dapat hindi yun yung maging natin sa mga younger generation of brokers, at the same time, younger generation of accountant, na sana mag-report ng tamang taxes para matulungan din natin ang ating bansang Pilipinas. Yun lang.
Pakaganda nun, ma'am. Thank you very much for that, no. Sabi nga ni Vice Ganda, 'di ba? Yung recent na event ng BIR kasi Isa siya sa mga top taxpayer, no? Kumbaga, they encourage all taxpayers to pay on time, pay correct taxes, and yung term nila na makialam, no? Kumbaga, questionin din natin saan napupunta yung taxes, no? Kasi as a taxpayer, we also have the right to ask, no, saan napupunta.
Yes, totoo.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for
Thank you, DV Consulting.
finding time, ma'am, to have this podcast with you. Thank you very much for the support, no, sa DV Consulting brand, and I believe na yung partnership, no, natin will be a long-lasting partnership, and we can go places, no, through this brand. Thank you very much po.
Thank you.